watching Arkansas Style on KARK.
It is the best day because it is, of course, another episode of our Joy Corner with our girl guide, Heather Boschke, who gives us some life hacks that really can make a change. Heather, great to see you, honey.
Hi.
Okay, well, we're not talking about the weather today. We're talking about in-between seasons. What do you mean?
Yes, an in-between season is that kind of quiet, uncomfortable space when one version of your life is fading out, but the next hasn't quite fully taken form yet. You're no longer who you were, but you're not sure who you are becoming. It's like you're stuck in a hallway between two doors. One has closed, but the other one hasn't opened yet. That's where the uncertainty and restlessness live this season. You might feel a strange mix of emotions. There is grief for what is no longer working. There's confusion about what comes next, and a subtle pull towards something that maybe you can't even name yet. It can follow a big transition like a career pivot, a relationship ending, becoming a parent, losing a parent, or even reaching a long-awaited goal that leaves you unexpectedly empty. And often it creeps in without a defining moment. You simply wake up one day and realize that the life you built no longer feels like home. And these transitional times feel so uncomfortable, even when we want the change. The old version of ourselves had anchors, routines, and responsibilities and relationships that affirmed who we were. And letting go of those, especially without something equally solid to step into, can feel like a loss. And it is. It's the grief that you're no longer fitting into your life the way that you used to. And what makes it even harder is that society doesn't give us much space to linger in the in-between. We celebrate the start and the end of things, graduations, promotions, weddings, retirements, but we rarely honor the transition itself. But real transitions are not quick, they are not clean, they are messy, they are nonlinear, and it takes time to unlearn old patterns, to rewire ourselves so that we can grow into the new version of who we are becoming. And so we end up feeling lost in that I'm not there yet feeling.
All right, relatable hashtag over here. I get exactly what you're saying. How about some tangible ways to really tell that things are shifting?
Yeah, one is that old patterns will stop feeling good and satisfying. So what used to give you comfort, maybe it was drinking with your girlfriends after work, maybe it's working till 10 p.m., maybe it's over planning your schedule, people pleasing. It will start to feel empty and even annoying. Another way you will tell is that you will start to crave reflection and solitude. You will be drawn to more time by yourself, journaling, walking, sitting in silence, not to escape, but to really hear what is shifting inside of you, and being with yourself will feel blissfully uncrowded and filled with space. Another way is that you will feel out of sync with the things that used to define you. The titles, the roles, the routines that you once held on to, like being a mom or a CEO or a director or a wife, they don't quite fit the same anymore. And a part of you starts to wonder, is there more to me than this? And the clearest sign that you're in an in-between season is that the familiar will stop feeling fulfilling. The things that once energized you now leave you drained, and your spirit knows that staying in the same place is no longer an option. And while that can be unsettling, it's also a very powerful sign that growth is happening.
Okay, well, certainly an uncomfortable place to be in. Are there some practical ways that we can support ourselves emotionally through this transition time?
Yes, I've got three. And the first is, and this is one of the best things we can do when we are in one of these seasons, we have to slow down. The in-between season is often where our soul is recalibrating, and that takes energy and time. We have to give ourselves space and rest to reflect instead of constantly trying to solve the uncertainty. We have to sit in it. Number 2, another proactive supportive practice is to focus on the routines that do serve you. Because when everything feels uncertain and those routines you used to have no longer feel good, small rituals that serve you, like making tea at 2 p.m. every day, or lighting a candle at night, or making your bed every day, that type of structure and routine can actually feel very supportive during this time. Mm-hmm. And number 3, have a mantra that brings you perspective. And one that I use is, I trust the timing of my life. I say it out loud. I've got it written in a journal that I read almost every day. And knowing that I trust the timing of my life makes me feel supported by something bigger than myself. And it reminds us that we are exactly where we need to be. We're not too early, we're not too late. We trust the divine timing of our lives. Because the messy middle can feel lonely and uncertain, but you are not alone. Because anyone who's ever grown into something new, which we all have, we've all felt this same uncertainty. The clarity will come, the energy will return, and one day you are going to look back on this season and realize it was the start of everything. So be kind to yourself, keep going, and remember that even in the messy in-between, you are still something beautiful.
I love this. Okay, and I would also recommend practicing that P word, which I'm not very good at, and that is patience.
So important. Very well said. Patience with a capital P.
You got it, girl, and an exclamation point. Well, great to see you. Thank you for the advice.
Anytime.
Of course. Well, the only thing we know is constant is change. Be patient. Your season will change, and you'll come out on the other side greater and better. After the break with fresh flowers and special offers. North Hills Florist is joining us next. You're watching Arkansas Style.